My name is Chloe Bennett. Today is my wedding day. But my groom, Sebastian Sterling, is a man lying unconscious in bed.
Miss Bennett, sign it if you're done reading. Mr. Sterling is waiting.
I was supposed to sabotage the procedure, exactly the way Adrian planned.
Adrian, pick up, please.
But when I call him, he won't pick up. I have no choice but to sneak out and find him myself. I look through the crack in the door and freeze. The man wrapped around Vanessa is Adrian.
Adrian, stay a little longer. Chloe's too busy to come looking for you.
I'm worried she'll back out.
I'll become the true Mrs. Sterling, and I'll watch you both burn in hell. After the wedding, the housekeeper Martha leads me to Sebastian's room.
Please.
I stand by the bed, seeing my husband for the first time. Adrian said he was hideous, cruel, and crippled. But the man lying here is breathtakingly handsome. Even unconscious, he exudes an air of nobility. Suddenly, the door bursts open. Adrian stumbles in, drunk, a bottle in his hand.
Chloe, sorry I missed your call. Today was crazy.
I force myself to play along. It's fine. I don't blame you. He locks the door and moves toward me.
I knew you'd understand. You love me that much.
Adrian, what are you doing?
A wedding night is precious. Let's not waste it.
He actually wants to force himself on me in my husband's room.
Snap out of it. Don't forget our plan.
I've changed my mind. If you carry my child, I still get the Sterling inheritance.
Just as I'm about to lose it, Adrian freezes. He stares at something behind me, his voice trembling.
Sebastian.
Adrian bolts like he's seen a ghost. I switch on the light and look back at the bed, but Sebastian is still motionless.
Hey, Sebastian?
No one answers. I gently tuck his hand back under the covers. He doesn't stir. Was Adrian just panicking and seeing things? I lock the door and sit by the bed, keeping watch. Eventually, exhaustion pulls me under. The next morning, the first thing I do is touch my neck. In the mirror, there's a clear red mark. That bastard Adrian. As soon as I come downstairs, Adrian pulls me into a small room.
Did the cripple wake up?
No.
Good. I must have been too drunk. I thought I saw him open his eyes and glare at me.
He relaxes, putting on his gentle facade again.
Sorry about last night. I had too much to drink. I was out of line.
It's fine. I swallow my hatred and keep playing along, because I'm going to send them to hell myself. After breakfast, Richard Sterling takes me to the Sterling Family Hospital for the insemination procedure. Before the surgery, Adrian gives me a look.
Don't forget our plan.
I smile at him, then turn and walk into the operating room with a cold face. For revenge, to reclaim what's mine, I have to grit my teeth and move forward. The procedure went smoothly, but we'll need to wait a month to confirm if insemination was successful. The procedure succeeds. Adrian's face darkens on the spot. Back at the mansion, he drags me straight into the garden.
We agreed you'd ruined the procedure. Why didn't you do anything?
I push his hand away and answer coldly. Show some respect. I'm your sister-in-law now.
Sister-in-law? Are you screwing with me?
He's furious, his grip tightening on my wrist.
You think latching onto Sebastian gets you out of this?
So what? Even if he dies, I'll still be your sister-in-law. The rightful Mrs. Sterling. My words strike a nerve. He raises his hand. Just then, a servant rushes over. Mr. Sebastian Sterling is awake. He wants to see you. I hurry back to the villa with the servant, my mind in chaos. Did he hear me and Adrian last night? If he did, they say Sebastian is ruthless. No one who crosses him ends well. I step into the room. Richard is there. Doctors crowd around Sebastian, examining him. He reclines against the headboard, his expression cold and distant, his handsome face frosty.
Who is she? She's your wife.
I don't remember having a wife. I arranged it. It's already public. Mr. Sterling has lost sensation in his legs. He may never stand again.
Understood. You're dismissed.
After the doctors leave, Richard turns to me.
Chloe, you'll take care of Sebastian from now on.
This marriage means nothing. I'll have my lawyer handle the divorce.
Divorce is not an option!
Richard Sterling, what gives you the right to decide for me?
Chloe just underwent the procedure. She may already be carrying your child.
After a long pause, he chuckles a light, dismissive sound.
Miss Bennett, which do you prefer? Surgical abortion or the pill?
I finally realize this man is even more terrifying awake than he was unconscious. I freeze, stunned that he wants me to abort the child.
What kind of nonsense is that? That's a Sterling heir!
The Sterling family has plenty of heirs. We don't need this one.
You ungrateful brat!
Richard swallows his rage and storms out. I'm left alone with Sebastian. I stand there nervously, wondering what to say to break the ice.
Mr. Sterling, my name is Chloe Bennett. I'm your future roommate.
What exactly can you help me with?
I can push your wheelchair.
The moment the words leave my mouth, I know I'm done for. I can cook too! Whatever you want, I can make it! Before I finish, he yanks me straight into his lap. My whole body goes rigid. He leans in, whispering in my ear, his tone dangerously intimate.
You seem afraid of me.
No, I'm not. But then his hand slides to the red mark on my neck. In that instant, ice runs down my spine.
Last night, I should have strangled you right in front of Adrian.
His hand closes around my throat. The air is ripped from my lungs. I realize with horror, Sebastian was awake last night. He heard everything. His hand tightens around my throat. I struggle desperately as my vision starts going dark. I finally shove him off and collapse to the floor.
You'd better pray you're not carrying my child, and if you are, I won't let it be born. Get out. Don't let me see you again.
I practically run for my life. But the second I get out, I slam into a man in a suit. Sorry! I don't even look up. I just run. After the door shuts, I hear the man's voice inside.
Boss, the doctor says your body's fine. With rehab, your legs can fully recover. Right now, everyone believes you are crippled.
He's not crippled?
Watching prey walk into the trap and then sink into despair, isn't that more interesting?
I stand outside that door, my whole body going cold. He's pretending to be disabled and waiting for everyone to destroy themselves. My husband isn't weak. He's a monster. I hide in my room alone, my mind a complete mess. I thought marrying a dying vegetable would secure my place as Mrs. Sterling. But now my husband is awake and he's a psychopath who could kill me at any moment. While I'm spiraling, news about an auction pops up on my phone. And the ruby necklace in the photo, I recognize it instantly. It belonged to my mother, Gloria. You even planned to sell this. The more I think about it, the angrier I get. I decide to go back to the Bennett house tomorrow and take back everything my mother left behind. I can't get anything back on my own, unless Sebastian goes with me. Early the next morning, I stand outside his door and force myself to knock. Sebastian,
Get lost!
Sebastian wouldn't see me, so I head back to the Bennett house alone in the rain. The first person I see when the door opens is Adrian.
Chloe? What are you doing here?
Before I can answer, Gloria rushes over.
Chloe, you're back. It's pouring outside. Come in.
The more affectionately they smiled, the more nauseating it made me feel. Chloe, what brings you here today? I'm here to retrieve my mother's belongings.
What belongings? Didn't you take everything already?
Don't play dumb. I saw my mother's necklace on an auction site. You're selling it. Hand over the rest.
Your father left debts before his passing. I sold things to pay them off. Now that you're Mrs. Sterling, shouldn't you help the Bennett family?
I push past her and head for the stairs. Gloria grabs me, refusing to let go.
They're gone. All of them. Looking won't change that.
All of them? Those earrings in your ears were my mother's too! Gloria instinctively covers her ears, then drops her hands in anger.
So what if I took them? I raised her daughter for years. I deserve this.
Shut up! You're not fit to speak her name. I seize the moment and rip the earring from Gloria's right ear.
How dare you!
Vanessa rushes at me, ready to slap my face. A deep, cold voice cuts through the chaos.
Quite a commotion. What are you doing to my wife?
Everyone freezes. I look up and see Sebastian in his wheelchair, looking like a king here to collect blood.
Still mad at me?
He actually smiles at me. This man changes faces faster than anyone I've ever met.
It was just a tiny argument this morning. You knew I couldn't move around easily, yet you left me behind. That was cruel.
He plays the loving husband while squeezing my hand so hard I can barely feel it.
Sebastian, it's all a misunderstanding. Vanessa was just messing around with Chloe.
You don't get to explain for Vanessa. Chloe's your sister-in-law. Show some respect.
Sorry.
Apology accepted.
Since Chloe is my wife now, her property is marital property too. Here are the asset division papers for Mrs. Chloe Sterling's mother's property and her father's remaining estate. If you have no objections, please sign.
Gloria and Vanessa go pale, staring at the document. For the first time, I feel like I've really latched onto the most dangerous man alive.
Mr. Sterling, you can't really love Chloe, can you? She dated Adrian for 3 years.
My heart clenches. I glance at Sebastian instinctively. His face darkens. His lips press into a thin line.
She was obsessed with Adrian. Now that he's with me, she married you out of spite. Don't let her fool you.
I know. So what? Chloe is my wife now. The past is none of my concern.
I walk up to Vanessa and slap her across the face. That's a warning. Adrian is trash I threw away. You can have him. But if you come after me again, Vanessa, I won't let it slide. Vanessa's eyes redden with fury. She raises her hand to strike back.
Enough. You don't get to touch my wife.
On the way back, I can't stop replaying that line.
Enough. You don't get to touch my wife.
I hold back as long as I can, then I ask.
Why did you say that back there?
Which part?
You want a divorce.
And?
Then why protect me?
He turns toward me and suddenly smiles.
What do you think? Maybe because I've started liking you.
My whole body goes still. You...
Don't flatter yourself. I will never love you.
Every trace of heat leaves my face.
Good, because I'd never love you either. Not in this lifetime.
I watched the brilliant city lights outside the car, yet the inside felt like an isolated island cut off from the world. I lock myself in my room, sliding down against the door. Once I calm down, regret sets in. I shouldn't have mouthed off to him. That evening, I decide to cook for Sebastian an olive branch, but he's not in his bedroom, so I head for the study. The door is half open. I assume he's not there. The second I step in, a cold voice cuts through the room.
Who let you in?
I freeze on the spot. I just came to bring you food. I didn't know this room was off limits.
I don't want an explanation.
He grabs the tray and hurls it across the room. Soup spills everywhere.
Get out. Do it again, and you'll be out of this house.
The door slams shut in my face. I stand outside the door, and for the first time, I really think I can't survive by relying on him. I need a job. I used to think I had time. Not anymore. I don't have my diploma. I don't have income. And I definitely don't have a choice. That night, I reopen the job sites. I've sent out countless resumes, and my inbox is still dead. Right when I'm about to give up, I see a listing from BRD. Overseas degree, multilingual, management background. I fit nearly every requirement. BRD. It's a top-tier company. If I get in, I can finally stand on my own. I submit my resume with zero expectations. The next afternoon, I get an email. An interview invite? I read it 3 times before I believe it. Since marrying into the Sterling family, this is the first real way out I've seen. On interview day, I dress as sharply as I can. In a place like this, first impressions decide everything. BRD Tower. I stand at the base, looking up at the tallest building in the city. As I'm searching for the interview room, I hear a familiar wheelchair rolling sound. I look up and see a silhouette. It looks way too much like Sebastian. No way. I can't help following.
Ma'am, this area is restricted.
Who just went in there?
Our CEO?
I try to keep asking, but he cuts in with a smile.
You're on the wrong floor. Your interview is on the 66th floor.
By the time I reach 66, the interview has already started.